Hi, I'm Josh Fielstra with Native Instruments, and I'm happy to introduce you to Maschine. Maschine is a hardware and software combination. I have in front of me the Maschine hardware, that is the Maschine controller, and it's connected directly to my Mac, which is running the Maschine software. So the two work in concert together to do some pretty amazing things. Maschine is a groove box. It's in the groove box style of working. So if you're familiar with any of the classic 80s drum machines, for example, or any of the current products on offer, which allow you to load sounds in and then record your playing directly into Maschine. I can have several different patterns going at the same time. I can add effects and then take the entire thing and bounce it down to an audio track. So it's a production workstation. You can make an entire song start to finish using nothing but Maschine. I'd like to show you how this works. I've just loaded a basic drum kit inside here. And I'm just going to record some patterns using this drum kit. So I'll turn on a metronome. And when I'm ready, I can hit record. And there's my part. It's been played directly in. Now what I might want to do is copy this pattern. That's what I'll do. And then I can add some more parts to the copy, like so. I might want to audition first. And I'll add the shaker. I'll duplicate that pattern. And let's add some more parts. Add a little clap. What else do we have up here? Got a crash. Let's add a crash. So you can see in just a short time, I started with this. I added this. And then one last pattern, which adds our crash and our clap. So this is basically designed to allow you as a musician to get parts in as fast as possible. As musicians, we're always losing creative time the more time we have to spend kind of messing around with the technical sort of things. So I've done some drum sounds. In addition to drum sounds, you also have things like basses, keys, leads, stabs, all kinds of stuff. It's definitely not limited to just drums. Why don't I give you an example? I'll pop in, let's do, how about a bass sound, for example? And I can tell Maschine very specifically what I'm looking for. I'm using the Maschine hardware to browse for this sound. Let's take a bass. And here's a bass sound. Now I can add this to what I've already recorded. You might notice I can also put the Maschine in a mode that will allow me to play that bass sound chromatically. And that's what I'll do here. So drums, instrumental sounds, you've also got sound effects and things like that. I'd actually like to take a moment now to show you some of the crazy effects inside Maschine. Let's put an effect, such as a reverb, directly on my snare drum. You browse for effects in Maschine exactly the same way that you browse for sounds. And I'm just going to throw a reverb on my snare, which you can hear there. Now the really cool thing about the effects in Maschine is that you can automate any of the parameters in real time. So let's change the size of the reverb and just capture that in real time. So let's solo the snare so you can hear that. Reverb's coming on, reverb's coming off. I've got a little auto write button. And you've got lots and lots of cool effects inside Maschine. Let's show you one more effect here. I'm going to show you the distortion inside Maschine. This is definitely one of my favorites. So here's our distortion. Let's put that on our drum kit. So I've got the distortion going. So you can use it as a regular distortion or for something far more creative. Recently, we've done an update. We're now up to Maschine 1.5. We've added a lot of new features, things that will improve your studio integration, for example. One of the new features in 1.5 that helps you with studio integration is being able to drag and drop a particular pattern from Maschine directly into your host. In this example, I'm using Ableton Live. Now, previously, you already had the ability to drag and drop audio. I'll show you that first. What I've got here is I've got a pattern inside the Maschine software. I can click in this little area And then I'm just going to drag and drop it directly onto an audio track inside Live. This could easily be Pro Tools, Cubase, Sonar, Logic, any of the sequencers. And now what I had in Maschine is currently directly inside Ableton now as an audio file. What we added in 1.5 was the ability to also do the same thing with MIDI, not just audio. So I can go into a little drop down right here, change my pattern drag mode to MIDI, and now the exact same thing that I just did applies, except now it's going to drag and drop my pattern as MIDI. And I'll drag and drop it right there. And now here it is inside Ableton, exists as MIDI. So we wanted to do this in case that you want a little more advanced integration between Maschine and your host sequencer. Keep in mind, however, that you can always run Maschine directly as a plugin inside your host sequencer. That's what I'm doing right now. What that means is that you can fall back on your sequencer's own renderability. I'm dragging and dropping the audio, but of course I could also render that audio offline while it's running as a plugin. We've also given you a little advanced functionality inside your sequencers with respect to automation. You can now automate any of Maschine's internal parameters just by taking them and assigning them to a macro control inside Maschine. And what macro controls are is they give you the ability to put any control, any parameter inside Maschine all on one page. So you could simultaneously be tweaking some filter settings, some effect settings, maybe one of the group tuning parameters, all on one page. And then that page you created will be able to be automated inside your sequencer. Lots of people want to do host automation. That's important. Something that I should also point out about Maschine, people often ask me, well, I've got the Maschine controller, can I use this with other things, or does it have to be just Maschine? And the answer is you can definitely use it with any MIDI-compatible device, hardware or software. We've given you something called the controller editor, and what the controller editor is, I've just brought that up, is it something that allows you to program any of Maschine's pads or buttons or knobs to control any MIDI destination. I could, for example, click on this knob right here and then say, okay, I want that knob to send a particular MIDI CC number. I can specify the range and all kinds of other MIDI settings. You can also send Mackie control protocol from Maschine controllers, so you can use this to control your sequencer directly. There are lots of sequencers that respond to Mackie control, and you can definitely do that inside Maschine. We've also given you the ability to import Akai MPC files or Rex files. Lots of stuff that we added in 1.5. I definitely recommend you check out the Native Instruments website for more information. If you have any questions on Maschine, absolutely feel free to consult your Sweetwater sales engineer for more information.